Hey YouTube, it's Taki with TaqiTech. Okay, so on to our next episode here. This is basically, we're just going to talk a little bit about Model 5. That means that we're going to start looking at those those meeting times, or that meeting time period where we start taking a look at that 11 o'clock that we talked about earlier. And how would our task array look with that 11 o'clock in it? How do we position this 11 o'clock properly within that array so that it will come out at 11 o'clock and it will go until noon? So this took a lot of thought here, but basically what I determined, there's a couple of ways to do it. What I feel is the best way to do it is to first off take a look at how much time is there between the start time, 6 a.m., and when we want to have our break time, 11 a.m. And that would be 5 hours. So you take 5 and you multiply it by 60 and you get 300 minutes. Now, when I initially modeled it, and this is one of the good things about modeling it, I started seeing that we were running short 30 minutes, like we wanted to take that break here, or it was broken somewhere here. So then I realized that I needed to subtract 30 minutes, the 30-minute break that came before 11 a.m. from the task times to get 270. Then I looked at my array here and I said, okay, well, we're gonna be able to clear everything and that's assigned to task array item 0. I'm going to be able to clear everything there in row 0 basically. In row 1, we're not going to be able to clear everything. And then if you take a look here, this is exactly how the array would look with that 11 a.m. in the proper place. So basically I'm going to take this 187 minutes and let me see here. So I'm going to have 100, let me see here. Okay, what I did was I added these two together and I had 379. I said, okay. So I'm going to need to take 270 minutes out of this 379. I'm going to get 109 left, and that's what's going to be down here. When I take out the 109 from the 187, I'm going to have 78 here. So when we reconfigure this array here, in row 0 we have 192, row 1 we have 78, then we come in with our 11 a.m. at 60. So if you take this right here, if you add the 192 and the 78, let me just do that real quick here, and I'm going to do it right inside. I'm going to do it right inside Excel, so I don't make a mistake with the math here. And we're going to hit the enter sign here. So we're going to get 270, just like we talked about before. So when we say 270 minutes from 6 a.m. is how much? Well, I got this little formula out here, so I'll say it's 4 hours and 30 minutes. So it takes me to 10:30 in the morning, which would be about right. The problem is that the reason why we need the 4 hours and 30 minutes and the reason why we subtracted the 30 minutes is because that break is taking 30 minutes. Right here, length of the break is 30 minutes. And if we don't subtract that, then we're going to end up being at 10:30 as opposed to 11. When we add that 30 minutes back in, even though this is 4 hours and 30 minutes, it's going to actually bump out at 11 a.m. And hopefully, if this does not make sense for you, that's fine. It's a hard thing to grasp your mind around. That's why you want to model it. Maybe if you model it and follow the model, it might start clicking for you. It might make some sense. If it doesn't, don't worry too much about it. It may make more sense for you once we get into the code. So basically, what I did here, and then I have 6 tasks here because I broke this 45 task, basically this number 45. That was initially 187 minutes into two tasks of one of 78, one of 109, moved the 60 up here, and that left us with the 5, the 22, and the 14. And there's are all 6 tasks, and then I modeled it again. So basically, we're just comparing our break time So we got our 240 here, then we have our 150 here, and then we have our 90 here. And we're just basically saying, okay, if so this 192 from task row 0 or task code 41 is going to fit in this full 240, and then 48 will be left. And then when I take the first 78, I'm going to have 30 left here, and then I'm going to drop in the 150, so on and so forth. And then this is going to help us determine what we're dropping and when we start printing out our times here. Now the reason why I talked about this now, the reason why I looked at this now before I even wrote a line of code is I need to know how I'm going to accommodate this 11 a.m., how I'm going to accommodate these meeting times. I need to keep that in mind, because if I don't, then I'm going to have problems later on if I kind of back myself into a corner and I code things in a certain way and I don't leave it open for that 11 a.m. So in the next episode, we're going to basically start coding Model 4. And what you're going to see here is I'm on the cusp of coding for Model 5. I've completed Model 4. And I've already kind of started implementing some things for Model 5, and we'll talk about that more in the next episode or two. But that's it for this time, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, take it easy.